Chriseption! Hey everybody, I'm Chris, and today I'm talking about Death Stranding. Great game. So, here is my Chriseptions. Here is a Chriseption video about Death Stranding, and I gotta say, absolutely love it. Let's say right out the gate, it's difficult to describe Death Stranding, but I do know that I like it a lot, a very lot. And you may have heard people and reviewers and other gaming outlets say that it takes like 10 hours to get into it, so you can't judge it by the first 10 hours. No, don't do that. You gotta commit to it. Well, personally, I loved it from the instant I booted it up. It was amazing. From the get-go. Cue that game footage. Another thing people have been saying is that it's just a walking sim with extra steps. I wouldn't call it a walking sim, but walking is definitely what you're doing most of the time. Death Stranding is much more than a walking sim that uses walking as a vehicle to tell a story or something. No, Death Stranding is a really great game that just happens to feature a lot of walking. The walking is a legit, like, fleshed out gameplay mechanic where, so think of it as this. You have a first-person shooter. Everyone knows all bazillions of first-person shooters. They have different styles of doing their things. Now think of a first-person shooter that has just the simple, like, you can point and shoot and aim. Now think of another first-person shooter where you can point and shoot and aim, but there's also, like, wind that affects the bullets. There's, the bullets fall after a certain distance like they do in real life. The walking in Death Stranding is like that last one. The extra elements of keeping your balance and not stumbling and stuff like that. It's different than how Red Dead Redemption 2 did all this stuff to be super realistic to the point where personally I thought it was annoying, but it adds to the experience of getting from point A to point B, and that's what is really amazing about this game, is that it's not the journey, it's the destination, and the journey is very long, and it's very interesting, and lots of things are going on during it. One of those things is combat, which is secondary in this game, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I will say that it is so satisfying to just clock someone over the head with a metal crate that from your backpack. Is just so satisfying, even though it's not really the focus, but bravo on that. And that's really all I have to say about combat at this point. And I want to mention the pacing of the game, is that it is a very slow game with lots of, well, I wouldn't say padding. I don't think there's any padding to this game. Everything is very meant to be there. Like, nothing is there just to waste your time. But it is a very slow game. Cutscenes go on for quite a long time, but they are, like, cinematic in the most wonderful, amazing way. And it all goes to show the journey of the characters and how different and amazing they are, and everyone's so interesting. And yes, they have non-conventional names, but the names even tell a story, and they add to the characters, and it's all very unique and artistic and wonderful. And another thing that I found refreshing is that the characters are all so hopeful and positive. Yes, there is adversity in their world. It's practically post-apocalyptic and bleak, but the characters are taking it in stride, and they're doing their darndest to make the world a better place and all that good stuff. You know, good for them. Speaking of meaningful things, because I'm pretty sure I said the word meaning in that last couple of sentences, the upgrades and advancements that you make in this game are very meaningful, more meaningful than most games I have experienced in recent memory. Let's take a look back real quick at Outer Worlds. That upgrade system for, say, the weapons There was a very limited selection of weapons, and the only upgrades were just like your numbers get a little bit better. And that's how it is with a lot of games, I think. Especially when you think of something like Borderlands, where you're picking up new weapons every 10 seconds, and yes, there's a lot of variety, but at the end of the day, it's a numbers game, where the numbers just get better and better and better. Death Stranding is not at all like that. Rather than getting a gun with better stats, or that's able to knock people out for longer, yeah, you don't really kill anyone in this game, you just knock them out or incapacitate them. You go from sneaking around the tall grass to deploying fake cargo for people to come pick up, and instead of giving them your loot, it ends up knocking them out. So yeah, upgrades are very unique, and every one of them feels like an accomplishment in and of itself when you get it. The most important aspect, the shining star of Death Stranding, is how it incorporates community into the gameplay. I can best describe it with an example. Say you build a bridge to get over a river in your game. Now, in someone else's game, they can come along and walk across your bridge. Now, let's say you build a bridge, but you don't have enough materials to finish the bridge. You can start building the bridge, and then someone else can come along and finish your bridge. I've mentioned before that I don't like multiplayer games. I get enough of people in real life. But Death Stranding manages to get me invested in the community of the game. I really feel pride and accomplishment when I finish someone else's structure, or I contribute just a little bit of resources towards building a road that'll help many players traverse the world more easily. There isn't any competitiveness to whatever online multiplayer aspect there is in this game. It's all, everyone playing Death Stranding is here to help you, and you're here to help them. It's a wonderful sense of community that you don't get from any other game, in my opinion. And as a person who prefers single-player games, it's really refreshing to be able to be a part of a gaming community without having to go to a Reddit or something. It's just there in the game, and you can be a part of it. So I cannot recommend Death Stranding enough. It is fantastic, it is wonderful, everyone should play it all the time, forever. Bravo. Now, Death Stranding is an enormous game with lots of things to talk about, and I'm going to make another video on it. One of the most interesting things that has been said about Death Stranding is that Hideo Kojima is making a new genre, the Stranding genre. And I've said before, people are just calling it a walking simulator, and I'm like, what? What? So next week, I'm going to be making a Chriseption about Star Wars, The Path of the Jedi. Ouch. But sometime after that, I don't know when exactly, because I'm going to be making a video discussing whether or not Death Stranding actually is a new genre of game. But before I do that, I want to be able to actually finish the game, and I want to maybe play through it again, take notes on it, explore different things, and just see what I can come up with. But that probably won't be for a ways off. So, but look forward to it. I really want to do that video, and should be soon. And that's all we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Like and subscribe and hit that bell down there. There, I think. And I'll see you next time. Bye.